This is our AutoSync dashboard, and I'm going to follow the guided user experience wizard to create a new data integration pipeline. In this case, the purpose is to create the data for a Sales Customer 360 dashboard. I answer some basic questions about what my purpose is and who the dashboard is for, and you can see in the flyout panel on the right hand side, the description gets completed as I answer further questions. In this instance, I'm going to be using Looker as my dashboard engine, and I'm going to be collecting the data for Looker from Google BigQuery. Now, I'm identifying multiple sources, in this case 3 data sources, to pull data into BigQuery so the data is ready for my analysis and exposure through the Looker dashboard. The next thing I need to do is specify how I'm going to connect to my data sources and my target. So I have a predefined list of restricted access credentials for Google BigQuery. I'm specifying my project ID, where I want to store the data, and choosing the schema as well. In this particular instance, I'm going to use Google Cloud Storage as a staging location for the data that I'm going to upload to BigQuery. And then I click Next. So the icon that has been red now turns green because my connection is successful and my credentials have been validated. So now I'll continue the process and specify credentials for my next 3 data sources. You can see here again I'm using a predefined credential set, and now I'm accessing the Salesforce schema to choose the objects that I want to sync. In this case, I'm only choosing the account object, but I could choose multiple entries here. Now that icon will turn green, and I get to specify my credentials for Google Sheets. Again, a predefined set of credentials. Note at any time I could add new credentials if the appropriate access is not pre-configured for me. And in this case, I'm choosing my spreadsheet and which worksheet in that spreadsheet I actually want to include. I could include multiple here as well. If I wanted to, I could preserve any data type information from the spreadsheet, but I'm choosing not to, and importing everything as string. And now I've got my final data source, ServiceNow, and you can see here I'm using a globally accessible credential that everybody with access to the system can use. And there's a lot of entries in this list, so I'm going to search for the object that I want to sync, in this case tickets, from ServiceNow. I check the box and I hit Next, and all those configuration settings are stored and all of my icons are green. Now I get to choose how frequently I want to sync the data. I want to do this on a weekly basis, but I want to specify which day and what time I actually start this process at. So you can see I'm going to choose repeat every week on a Sunday, and I'm going to turn off Wednesday, and I'm going to choose to end this after 2 repetitions, after 2 runs. I could choose never, or I could choose a specific date. Now I'm going to save that, and that schedule will be built into my pipeline. You can see here my description is fully complete now, and that's a great reference for anybody who wants to look at this pipeline in the future. Now if I click on my card, this is the new one that's been added. If I click on it, I get the pop-out panel on the right hand side with all the details that I've completed. I can choose to run now from there, or I can use the kebab menu and choose to run now, share the pipeline with someone else, or delete it if it's a draft. And you can see my status is set to running. Now if I want to monitor the progress of this pipeline, I can go to my monitor tool, and you can see my pipeline is listed here, and I can expand the tree. You can see the icon is saying that it's running, it's in progress, and as the pipeline proceeds, I will get more entries added under this tree here, so I can always reference them and track how well my pipeline is executing.